The highly anticipated results of Eli Lilly and Co.'s phase 3 clinical trial results are in. Here with us now to talk about it is COVID-19 therapeutics platform leader at the company, Janelle Sabo. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having me today. It's exciting to be here today to talk about the latest results from our phase 3 study in high-risk patients.
This is so exciting to have you here. We're so excited and congratulations. So tell us about the results of this trial and why this combination treatment?
Yeah, so the combination treatment is 2 different neutralizing antibodies. These were isolated from prior survivors of COVID-19. They're co-administered to a high-risk, recently diagnosed symptomatic patient. And when administered, these latest results show that they decreased hospitalization by 87%. These are really important because high-risk patients are known to go on to worse outcomes, particularly emergency room visits, hospitalization, and even potentially death.
And this is even more important because although we have these vaccines coming out, we still need treatments for this. We don't know how long this is going to be out.
Vaccines aren't 100%, but of course, if you have access to a vaccine, you should absolutely consider getting the vaccine administered and have a conversation with your primary care physician. But even if you have the vaccine, there is still a chance of infection. And certainly those who aren't eligible for or haven't taken or choose not to take the vaccine will still be at risk for infection. And in this high-risk population, treatments will still need to be available. And so today's results reinforce the fact that these COVID-19 therapeutics, neutralizing antibodies, will play a key role on an ongoing basis.
Right, still very, very necessary. So how long did it take you guys to get to this place?
Yeah, so we began development of bamlanivimab and etesevimab, the 2 neutralizing antibodies, last year, and they entered the clinic in June of last year. And we had our first results by October, our first emergency use authorization in November, and then the combination early this year. Now with these reinforced results, this is another treatment in the toolkit for patients who have a positive result and are at high risk. And we're really excited to see the data yet again reinforced with such a substantial decrease in hospitalization and death.
Right. I mean, 87%, like you said, that's huge. That's a huge number. Mm-hmm. And, you guys have been at the forefront at this, battling this pandemic. So what would you want to tell us Hoosiers? And we're so proud of you, by the way. And it must feel so great to be in. We feel so proud that you guys are in Indianapolis, in Indiana. And what is your message to us? What would you want to tell our audience about these great results and moving forward as the pandemic, hopefully we're going to be on the other side of this very soon?
Yeah, I would say it's, the pandemic is definitely improving. I think there's a lot to be excited about. But in the near term, it's going to still be important to mask up and socially distance. I do think it's also important that when eligible for a vaccination, that you consider whether or not a vaccination is right for you and talk with a physician, a treating physician that you're familiar with. But should you become sick with COVID-19 and you're at high risk for potentially adverse outcomes such as hospitalization or death, that you seek the advice and discussion with your healthcare professional about COVID-19 therapeutics, including the neutralizing antibodies. These are important conversations to have before you become sick, because once you are sick, they do need to be administered within 10 days of onset.
That's great information to know, Janelle. And can you share with us next steps for this these trials? Where are we going moving forward?
Yeah, so great question. For our COVID-19 therapeutics platform, we're continuing to finish the long-term follow-up from our phase 3 studies and continuing to collect safety data. We're also beginning to look at additional second-generation neutralizing antibodies that will be able to cover a broad range of emerging variants. We think this is important given that we're starting to see that the virus under pressure is mutating. Although not here in the Hoosier State in significant numbers, it is definitely something that we're monitoring and something that we're beginning to address as well.
That's so important considering now that they are on U.S. soil and they could be headed our way. We don't know. And last 30 seconds, what would you like to say? What would you like to tell us? Your message.
Yeah, so I think number one, I think it's been really a privilege at Eli Lilly and Company to serve the community, to be involved with testing across the state and increasing access to testing, but also in the development of COVID-19 therapeutics. We're really committed to making lives better and helping Hoosiers not only across the state, but also across the globe. And I think these results reinforce that commitment, but also the results of what is possible with COVID-19 therapeutics in these high-risk patient populations.
Janelle, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you on behalf of all of us here for all of your hard work at the company and everyone else at Eli Lilly and Company.
Thank you so much. It was great to talk with you.
You too.